Title: Young stockman pioneers drone used to herd animals. A young stockman from northwest Queensland named Luke Chaplin is revolutionising the cattle industry by using drones to muster livestock. Chaplin formed Sky Kelpie, an agtech company that aims to be the first in the world to commercialise the use of drones to herd animals. While there are many benefits of drone mustering, such as lower costs, fewer risks for workers, and quicker cattle gathering, regulatory red tape has yet to catch up with the technology. Even though there is a landholder exemption for flying drones to muster cattle, farmers are still required to maintain a visual line of sight, which is impossible when mustering over thousands of hectares. As a result, Chaplin is taking on the aviation watchdog to disrupt centuries-old practices and introduce modern technology to the industry. From the sun and sand of the Torres Strait to the red dirt of outback NT, meet Docker River's only cop. Sergeant Richard Mazza is the only police officer in the Northern Territory and Western Australia's remote Docker River community. Living alone in a patch covering hundreds of square kilometres, he builds rapport with locals by identifying shared values and walking through the town chatting. The Indigenous officer grew up in Mare Island, Murray Island, and believes that his cultural understanding helps him in community work. The town store manager has praised Mazza's ability to de-escalate minor crimes, which have been challenging for previous predecessors. Sergeant Mazza's work highlights the unique challenges of remote policing and the importance of cultural understanding. Title: Safe, Calm, Connected, Happy, Surf Therapy helping young people in WA's Margaret River. A surf therapy program in Western Australia's Margaret River region is making therapy more accessible and engaging for young people. The 6-week program, run by not-for-profit Flow State Margaret River, combines clinical group therapy sessions and surfing. Participants learn skills around managing their mental health and engaging in the ocean. Surf therapy has been found to improve both physical and psychosocial health, with the simple act of getting out into nature shown to improve mental health. Former world champion Lane Beachley has also supported the therapeutic benefits of surfing. Hashtags. Title: Queensland town could revive sunflower industry with biofuel plan. An oilseed crushing plant proposed by Energreen Nutrition in an industrial estate near Queensland's Emerald could revive Australia's sunflower industry. The plant would process sunflower seeds, safflower and cottonseed into oil for biofuel production and consumption, while the remaining material would be turned into meal for animal feed. Sunflowers were traditionally grown in Australia to make cooking oil, but competition from Ukraine and a slump in demand led to closures. However, sunflower varieties that are resistant to plant diseases are now available to growers. Contracted agreements between growers and the crushing plant could lead to competitive prices. Title: Queensland actors struggle to land local roles, prompting MEAA survey. Queensland actors and crew are feeling overlooked for productions in their own state, despite the $230 million film boom that created 5,400 jobs in the state last year. Local talent are turning to making their own films, as they are more likely to be hired in the state when they relocate or pretend to be from a different state. The Media, Entertainment and Arts Alliance (MEAA) has launched a survey campaign called Local Hires Are Hot, aimed at putting Queensland talent back on employers' radars. Actors are hoping to create an incredible Brisbane market for movies and talent to make incredible art. Title: Ian James's journey from Hollywood to Outback Radio. Description: Ian James, a radio veteran who had worked in European radio stations and Hollywood film sets, now manages an Aboriginal community radio station called Wonki Upernanupuru Radio in Fitzroy Crossing, Western Australia. Despite having only been in the job for 3 weeks, he faced one of his toughest challenges when record flooding struck the region, destroying the bridge over the Fitzroy River and cutting off communities. James is optimistic about the station's future, however, as broadcasting everything on social media to shift to a younger audience has proved successful. Hashtags. Finding lost shipwrecks is a side hustle for Australia's maritime research vessel. A science vessel in Australia has been rediscovering lost shipwrecks that have disappeared into the depths of Victoria's coastline. The CSIRO's research vessel RV Investigator is equipped with scientific technology that allows the team to search for shipwrecks in the deepest waters, where recreational and technical diving cannot safely access. Until now, most shipwreck discoveries were undertaken by divers which were limited by depth. The successful rediscovery of the MV Blythe Star has given Victorian archaeologists and historians renewed hope for the more than 300 vessels that remain lost. The discovery of these shipwrecks has become an exciting side hustle for the vessel's marine ecologist. Title: Majority of wild dogs in Australia are pure dingoes, new research shows. New research conducted by the University of New South Wales has found that the majority of wild dogs in Australia are actually pure dingoes. The study looked at the genetic breakdown of 400 dingoes across the country, and found that most of the animals sampled were pure dingoes or historical dingo backcrosses. This news has divided farmers and conservationists, especially in sheep country, where there has been a coordinated effort to control the dogs that pose a fatal risk to livestock. While dingoes are estimated to cost upwards of $89 million every year in lost agricultural production and management costs, Djibril woman Sonia Takau, the founder of dingo advocacy platform Dingo Culture, said the dingoes are part of the country, and they need to be protected. Tenants forced to consider sharing rooms as rental crisis bites. As the rental crisis in Australia worsens, more people are turning to share houses. However, young Australians already living in share houses are expressing their concerns about this option. Alivia, who has been living in a rental property in Tasmania for a year, said that sharing a room with randoms just to get a roof over her head isn't an ideal solution. With rents rising and the median weekly income for an individual in Tasmania only $701, buying a property remains an unaffordable dream. Reserve Bank Governor Philip Lowe suggests more people in each house is the only solution to ease the pressure on rising rents. Title: Arthritis sufferers find relief in ballet with Queensland Ballet's program. Colleen Reid, a 68-year-old former nurse with arthritis, has found a new love of dance through the Arthritis Dance Moves program by the Queensland Ballet. The initiative aims to help people with arthritis move more and exercise. Living with arthritis for 20 years, Reid found that the program has made a big change in her day-to-day movements and the belief in herself. Participants join the program from their homes via video calling software, where a professional ballet instructor takes them through exercises and dance moves to music. The program has about 9 classes a week for participants across the state. Flu warning for Western Australia as cases surge by 74% in 1 week. The Western Australian government has issued a warning to residents after a 74% surge in flu cases in the past week. Health officials say that children are highly represented in the figures, and that the flu can cause serious illness and death in vulnerable people. Over 671,634 West Australians have already been vaccinated against the flu under the state government's free vaccination program, while officials have urged residents to maintain healthy hygiene habits to prevent its spread. The flu and hospitalisation rates in the state are higher this year than the previous 5-year average. Convicted Unabomber Ted Kaczynski found dead in his prison cell. Theodore Ted Kaczynski, the Harvard-educated mathematician who ran a 17-year bombing campaign that killed 3 people, has died at the age of 81. Branded the Unabomber by the FBI, Kaczynski died in a federal prison medical center in Butner, North Carolina. He was found unresponsive in his cell early on Saturday morning, and the cause of death is not yet known. Kaczynski was sentenced to 4 life sentences plus 30 years for a campaign of terror that set universities nationwide on edge, and he admitted to having committed 16 bombings between 1978 and 1995, permanently maiming several of his victims. Title: The Life and Crimes of Unabomber Ted Kaczynski. Ted Kaczynski, the former maths professor and Unabomber, who carried out a 17-year spree of bombings that killed 3 people and baffled the FBI, has died in prison. Kaczynski was a brilliant student who skipped 2 grades to attend Harvard at age 16, where he participated in an infamous science experiment that subjected volunteer students to hours of extreme verbal and emotional abuse. After earning a doctoral degree in mathematics, Kaczynski resigned from his job and moved to Montana, where he built a primitive cabin and began his vengeful killing spree. Harvard classmates recalled him as a lonely, thin boy with poor personal hygiene and a room that smelled of spoiled milk, rotting food, and foot powder. Link. Fatal crash in Molong treated as domestic-related incident by police as community mourns. Police are treating a fatal 2-vehicle crash in Molong, New South Wales, as a domestic-related incident. The crash, which occurred on Friday, led to the death of a 36-year-old mother of 3 and left a man in a critical condition. The 2 drivers were known to each other, and police are investigating the incident. Cabon Council Mayor Kevin Beattie said that the community of Molong was in shock, and that the woman's children will need a lot of support. The tragedy has left the community grieving. 3 teenagers charged after man found dead in Sydney home. 3 teenagers, including a 16-year-old girl, have been charged over the death of a 32-year-old man in a home in Tregear, Sydney's west. Emergency services were called to the scene on Saturday night, but the man was found unresponsive in a bedroom and could not be revived. An 18-year-old and 19-year-old man, along with the girl, have been arrested and charged. The younger man was charged with murder, while the other 2 teenagers faced charges of assault occasioning actual bodily harm (DV). All 3 were denied bail. Police will conduct a post-mortem examination to confirm the cause of death. Wests Tigers stalwart set to leave NRL club after rejecting new contract offer. Luke Brooks, the halfback for Wests Tigers, has rejected a contract extension offer from the club, signalling his departure from the Tigers after 11 years. Brooks, who is currently off contract, has informed the club that he will not renew his contract after this season. Despite the Tigers making a fair, market value offer, Brooks knocked them back. The club is disappointed, but the decision could benefit the Tigers, giving them more spending power to offload players and bring in replacements. The door is not closed for Brooks, who could negotiate a new deal if he has a change of heart.